love the Pentagon as a kid. Now I realize how dangerous that could be. Fascinate me. Good thinking. I've got plenty to do on my own, and so do you. Makes sense to split up for a bit.
Thanks again for your assistance. I trust you'll be discreet.
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
I need that Rothicite if we want to complete the neuroamp.
I'm just concerned the entire station was wiped out by... something.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out and get that shipment back. Good, you're here. It's time to put a plan in motion to take full control of this situation with Infinity Ltd. In due time. We don't know to what extent Infinity has taken the current neuroamp schematics, so our top priority is completing our own. Let me introduce you to Veena Kalra, Head of Research and Development. She'll give you the initial details.
Yes, details. You see, the internal neuroamp is supposed to consist of two parts. The first part, the part Infinity stole, handles the manipulative effects. The second part is a shielding modification, designed to protect the user against other neuroamp users. Well, we can't, but the shielding aspect was never officially a part of Project Dominion. It was an afterthought of how to safeguard our own people from being manipulated, so it was being researched separately as a mod. The research itself was in early stages, too early for board approval, so only myself, DeMarcus, and Masako know about it. Big time. We'd be the only ones unaffected.
No one wants their greatest asset used against them. Once Veena can complete the internal neuroamp and shielding mod, the plan is to outfit you with both and have you infiltrate Infinity Ltd. We can't risk the assignment until we know your mind has the necessary protection. You're a Ryujin employee, and we need a job done. We've trusted you this far, so I feel it's safe to continue the trend. We expect our employees to do whatever it takes to ensure Ryujin's success. Consider this an opportunity, not a risk. Besides, you're in good hands with Veena. Good. That's all I wanted to hear.
And all I need is the last piece of the puzzle. The final kink in both designs was finding compatible materials to use for conductivity that the human body wouldn't reject. I've finally created the perfect alloy, but it requires a newly discovered refined element called Rothicite.
Which is where I come in. We have a confidential contract with Consolidated Mining to gather, refine, and ship the Rothicite straight to us. Their last shipment is late, and neither we nor Consolidated Mining have had any communication with the Carinay station. My thoughts exactly.
We need you to head out there, secure the shipment, and bring it back here so Veena can complete her prototype. And I want to know what happened. We need to take any safety measures to make sure this doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, yes, so be prepared. Extensive tests and research were done on the planet, so the chances that this is environmental are slim. And setting up a station like this is second nature for Consolidated Mining, with plenty of redundancies in place to handle mechanical failures.
The mining station is CM Station RC-1. It's on a moon called Carinae 3A in the Carinae system. The shipment should be in the research and control tower, but the outside doors are kept locked down. This keycard will let you enter the mines so you can access the tower from the inside. Good luck.
Once we have the Rota site, we can finally set my plan in motion. Your top priorities are securing a shipment of refined rothosite and finding out what happened to that mining station. If the shipment has been moved, I want you to use every resource to relocate it and report back with any information you find along the way. Once the shipment is secure, bring it back here at once and deliver it to Vina. We want her to complete her prototype as soon as possible. Consolidated Mining is one of the oldest and most trusted mining companies in the settled systems. As their name may suggest, they were created when several smaller companies came together in order to compete with the dominating names at the time, like Argos. They grew their business on dependability and service, and still retain those qualities today. Of course, but our technicians don't have the skills that our operatives do. We like to keep them limited to populated areas, not lone mining stations.
If it is mercenaries, I hope you'll teach them a proper lesson. I'm positive it's mercenaries of some sort. Crimson Fleet, Ecliptic, maybe even Spacers. Just be prepared. Ammo, medpacks, whatever it takes. Whoever's there isn't going to be known for subtlety. The main area you're looking for is a research and control tower. It's the tallest section of the station, so you can't miss it. But like I said, it's locked down pretty tight from the outside. That keycard will get you into the mine through the lower barracks, where you can take an elevator up to reach the tower. I'm the supply chain manager in operations, so all these computers and equipment are courtesy of yours truly. It's certainly not as glamorous as overseeing the technicians and operatives, but the job is equally important if you ask me. Have a great day.
It's times like these when I'm glad I have an office job. I just hope that shipment isn't lost. Designed and developed right here. Remarkable, aren't they? I wish I could have been Ray DeCaris the day she first perfected the technology. She laid the groundwork that DeMarcus and I base all of our current designs on. Oh, DeMarcus is my chief engineer, by the way. He's the only person here who can keep up with me, but don't let him know that. It'll go straight to his head. The one and only. It was one of the first projects I proposed as head of research and development, so Project Dominion is like my baby. Funny story. The concept started off as a joke DeMarcus made, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this was just the challenge I was looking for. That's right. I'm Dr. Vina Kalra, head of research and development. I oversee everything that goes on around here from neuroamp development to weapon testing. Do me a favor and watch your step out there on the floor, okay? DeMarcus and the engineers work with a lot of dangerous equipment and chemicals. And as much as I'd love to test some of our experimental tech on human subjects, that requires special approvals. It's a very rare element that appears to be unique to the moon Carinae 3A. With the right purity in combination with other metals, the alloy is completely compatible with an amazing level of conductivity and no degradation. It's basically the ace up our sleeve for neuroamps. For you, it'll be like going into a deep, relaxing sleep, and then waking up feeling refreshed and invigorated. For me, it'll be a few hours of laser-focused skill. I like to think of neurosurgery as an art form. Honestly, it's going to be fine. Zero downtime, no projected side effects. You're gonna love it.
Did you say Marzana? I thought most of that data was lost.
If you have anything at all on that project, I'll gladly take it off your hands. We're still not sure, and in this industry, it really could be anything. Faulty tools, bad estimates, even sabotage. I'm afraid I can't give you any details. It's still confidential even though the project has been shelved. Fair enough. And if you happen to find any more, now you know where to bring them. Don't tell me you don't know the name of Ryujin's founder. Ray DeCaris created Ryujin Industries with Itaru Saito back in 2307. She developed the very first neuroamp just a few years later, laying the foundation for this corporation. I had the honor of working under her a few short years before she retired and entrusted me with R&D. Stop by any time. We always have something interesting going on.
We'll have to look into a more effective way of sending distress calls from distant locations.
We're locked in and landed.
Dad, have you ever tried Aurora?
Not in a long time. Not since you were born.
What was it like?
Terrible. Terrible. It was terrible.
Greetings, Captain. Hello.
You know, I went to chef school. This ain't exactly where I saw myself.
This area's off limits. Authorized personnel only. An outbreak? I haven't heard anything about this. Understood. Here's an access card. Good luck. Hope that outbreak is still contained.
Sean, I don't want to go over this again. I'm tired, all right? Just not today.
You can't be okay with this, though, right? You took an oath, and I'd say this is a firm violation.
Look, we got that shipment. Although who knows what Faye expects me to do with it. But maybe approvals really are on the way. Now please, get back to Kai. Make sure his vitals are stable. I don't want to lose him. We'll figure this out. I promise.
Fine. But if we lose Kai, that's it. I'm going to SSNN. I don't give a shit about my career anymore.
You and me both. We better get that approval soon. Excuse me, but this is a restricted area. You need to leave. That's none of your business. Now leave before I call security. Your timing could be better. A little warning next time. I'll just take a moment to check up on my patient.
I just want to make it home tonight. They always tell you this could happen, you just never believe it.
Captain, do you require my assistance?
This is 3-star collector space. Hold while we scan your ship. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
You didn't.
Got my eye on you.
Nice to catch you in the office.
Hey there. Is that my beautiful shipment? You were right about this one, Masako. Looks like it. This should be more than enough. Now, I shall excuse myself and get to work on finalizing this prototype.
So, what did you learn about CM Station RC-1? Lucas must be desperate if he hired them to collect the Rothicite. Were there any survivors? Our station on Carinae 3A and Consolidated Mining's contract were both confidential. We had no reason to believe they'd be under any threat. Of course, we had no reason to believe we had a mole, either. Good. I may not condone murder, but I refuse to have sympathy for indiscriminate killers like Ecliptic. Especially after massacring innocents working for us. Now, I also had a report that you were spotted at the clinic. I take it you traced the shipment there? Dr. Lane? I believe Vina is familiar with his work, specializing in neurosurgery. Were you able to determine what he was doing at the clinic? The clinic serves all, but it can't be denied that they require credits to run. In most cases, the clinic is also the best choice for research. Not everyone has the resources to have decent medical facilities like us on site. So, it sounds like Lucas has reached a new level of desperation to ensure his future as CEO. I'll make sure Yuko's team extracts every bit of information they can from the clinic's database on this. Between hiring Ecliptic and unauthorized human trials, we have enough to take Lucas down for good. And with the Rothicite secure, it's almost time for us to make our move. Not long, according to her. She and DeMarcus have everything prepped and ready. I believe it's just a matter of creating the alloy and molding it according to her design. Head up to the executive floor and speak to Dalton. He has an update for you on the mole's identity. I've called a meeting, and I expect you to attend. It's time to put the final plan in motion. The sooner you speak to Dalton, the sooner we can get the meeting started. The board consists of the 7 main officers that run this corporation. Ularu, Lyndon, Genevieve, Alexis, Dalton, and myself will be in attendance. Vina is the only exception, of course. Her work on the internal neuroamp takes priority. Yes. The world of corporate espionage is a complex one to navigate. We prefer to deal in subtlety, gathering information to change a narrative or staying one step ahead. Infinity, on the other hand, has acted out of desperation. Dalton will be covering details on the mole, and I'm going to begin detailing out my plans for handling Infinity Ltd. Your presence is mandatory as our main witness, investigator, and operative for the assignment to come. So don't be late.
Good. You're right on time. I reevaluated all the evidence. It took every resource I had, but the final answer is clear. Ularu is the mole. In due time. I'll be reaching out, but right now we need her to remain in hiding. Yes, you made the right call. I've briefed Masako and discussed her plans on handling this. While we both agree Ularu is guilty, we need irrefutable evidence before presenting this to the board. For now, we lead everyone to believe that Imogene was the mole, and the situation was dealt with. Imogene is a resourceful woman. I have no doubt she's in a safe house of her own design. In fact, she probably sees this as a paid vacation. My guess is she's lounging on a couch somewhere, binging all those movies she hasn't had time to watch. It's a means to an end. We'll make sure Imogene is properly exonerated and welcomed back with open arms if this plays out our way. Masako has tasked Ularu with writing the program to bring down Infinity Ltd. We believe she'll take the chance to incriminate Masako within the program, so this could provide the evidence we're looking for. You will be tasked with the assignment to infiltrate Infinity, so before you go, I want you to bring that program to me. If I can't find hidden code on a single slate, I certainly deserve to be fired. Ularu is limited in what she can hide here. Plus, she'll have no reason to believe anyone will be looking in the first place. Then we'll have to find another way to build a case against Ularu. And it won't be easy. I can't imagine a more satisfying ending. Now, let's attend a meeting. The sooner you sit, the sooner we can get this over with. Please, sit down.
If only there were more hours in the day.
We called you all together to discuss a recent security breach. We discovered a mole within the company who leaked vital information about Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd.
You've got to be kidding me.
Just don't tell me it's Vina. I think we've all noticed she's not here.
Before you speculate any further, no, it's not Vina. The guilty party is Imogene Salzo, much to my disappointment. Our operative here obtained the evidence to confirm it.
Dalton, how does something like this happen?
Imogene is highly trained. Ularu can even speak to that. We demand the best. So that's the threat we deal with.
I may have well-trained operatives, but security is your responsibility, Dalton. This is a huge failing on your part.
I accept the responsibility, but let's not forget, the mole has already been exposed and dealt with.
Of course, thanks to another of my operatives. I know you're not insinuating that this is my fault.
Imogene's been dealt with, so bickering is pointless. All I care about is reacquiring our property and what this might be costing us financially.
Vina is completing the internal neuroamp prototype as we speak. Our operative will receive the implant, infiltrate Infinity Ltd, and obtain any and all research. I have it on good authority. The experimentations they've done to replicate the missing pieces of our work have resulted in fatalities.
Botched human trials and murder for hire? You don't bounce back from that. At least not with Infinity's legal team.
If I may make a suggestion, we should give this evidence to David at SSNN. It's the best neutral method of releasing this information to the general public.
That'd make my job easier.
David it is, then.
Misako, the internal neuroamp is ready if you want to send down the candidate.
I hope you're ready for this. And that's precisely why I know we can count on you. Vina will be waiting for you in the neuroamp division in R&D. Once you're done, meet me in my office. Be ready to discuss the details of your next assignment.
Try not to keep the good doctor waiting. Misako and I should be fine wrapping up this meeting without you.
Good luck with that procedure. You're in good hands with Vina. Trust me.
The news about Imogene is unsettling.
It's a shame about Imogene. I expected better of her.
So much work to do.
Ryujin CEO is no joke in a ball.
Are you sure you're okay? You left.
I couldn't ask for a better boss than DeMarcus. He must be the smartest man in Neon.
We don't get a lot of visitors up here.
Double check those measurements are right. Anesthesia always makes me nervous.
Don't worry. I've already checked them 4 times.
It's good to see you again. Ah, here's my lucky candidate. I hope you're ready to embark on one amazing journey. The internal neuroamp is basically the next leap in our line of influential amplifiers. It gives the user dominion over a less dominant target, meaning you can heavily influence another person's thoughts and actions. Technically, that remains to be seen. It's not legal, but those decisions will be left up to a higher power who is neither you nor me. Oh yeah, it gives Ryujin Industries a huge advantage over the competition. So, are you ready to get started? Neurosurgery is my specialty. I've performed more operations than I can count on a wide variety of brains. So I like to think that I'm wildly overqualified. Really, I could do this in my sleep. Oh, don't worry. That's not on the agenda. Now, just a few details before we begin. Obviously, we'll be putting you under. I'll be making a small incision in the back of your skull where the internal neuroamp will be fitted. The whole procedure should only take 3 to 4 hours with little to no downtime afterwards, provided DeMarcus got everything entered correctly.
Did I not just say I quadruple-checked the numbers?
You know I'm just giving you a hard time. Besides, I've got to make sure my patient is reassured. There's little to no risk, assuming your brain is typical and you don't have any adverse reaction to the anesthesia. First sign of trouble, we back out and start evaluating other candidates. Of course. We've got, what, 5 PhDs between the two of us?
6, but who's counting?
All I'm saying is that you're in good hands. Now, just lie down on the table once you're ready, and we should be good to go.
Warning. This unit is not suited for addressing mental health concerns. Warning. This unit does not possess advanced surgical capabilities.
I can see how neurosurgery might be a little intimidating, but Vina and I have been doing this for a long time.
All right, let's get this party started. Well, look who's finally up. The operation was a success, obviously. Once you're able to refocus, let me know how you're doing.
You appear dehydrated. I suggest the immediate ingestion of a...
So, how are you feeling? You look good? Huge success. No surprises, no signs of rejection. You were the ideal subject. Now, we just keep our fingers crossed and hope no unknown side effects come creeping in later. Yep, that's me every morning. But the whole point of this is no visual indication and no adverse side effects. So, sounds like we're on track. Just a couple quick notes before using the internal neuroamp. First, you can only influence one person at a time. And second, the effect is temporary, so be prepared if you use it in a combat situation. Let's just say it varies based on the user. Some people have greater mental capabilities than others, which would increase the duration. Now that's something to talk to the drone engineers about. Now let's test this sucker out. DeMarcus has graciously volunteered for science, he says. Our preliminary testing was rigorous enough that there's little to no risk involved here. The biggest unknown was finding the perfect compatible alloy for the implant. We've had the tech itself working externally for quite some time. Please, we're not Infinity. We believe in due diligence when it comes to tech like this. But, just in case something does go wrong, we've got him locked up in the test chamber. DeMarcus loves being hands-on and experiencing things on his own. It's probably why he's the second most published scientist here, after me. Just head up the stairs nearby to the observation deck.
Watch your fingers. Lots of dangerous machines around.
Oh my god, that was incredible. What was it like?
Wow.
How to describe it? 1 minute I was excited about seeing how the experiment would go. The next, I had a brief moment of disorientation and figured I must have lost my train of thought. It felt eerily natural. And yes, I admit it, just as you predicted.
I knew it, I knew it, I knew it! I can hardly wait to finish writing up my latest dissertation. And you owe me 100 creds.
I'll be keeping myself under constant surveillance now. I'm curious if any other side effects may manifest.
So, tell me all about it. How did it feel? Any side effects? Yes! Good. Hear that, DeMarcus? That's 2 for 2 now.
I heard. It really was fascinating how all I experienced was a moment of disorientation. It's truly remarkable tech. Not at all. But I can imagine if I experienced disorientation like that, but regained my awareness in another room, it could be a bit jarring. We'll definitely be running some more tests in the future, though. So many situations to account for. Those are the kind of edge cases that I let the board work out. Obviously, tech like this is going to come with its fair share of red tape. Maybe that's the beauty of it. You'd never know. Besides, the neuroamp isn't total control. If a subject's morals or beliefs in something are strong enough, we still see points of failure. That being said, it's been interesting to discover the actions our subjects sanction in their own minds.
Okay. As much as I'd love to go over the details and potential of this amazing piece of technology I created, Masako wants to see you. It sounds like you have an assignment to complete, and DeMarcus and I have a lot of notes to record.
I still can't get over how incredible that was. I really don't remember a thing. Didn't Vina say Masako wants to see you? If you'd seen the studies and tests we've run, you'd understand why I'm not concerned. Besides, if anything does happen, I've got the best neurosurgeon in the settled systems to help me find a solution. Well, sure. It's one of the many things where, in the wrong hands, it can be considered exceptionally dangerous. But at the same time, have you read about the Colony War? A tool like the internal neuroamp could be the key to preventing another one. Not a thing. It was like those moments where you lose your train of thought, or space out for just a moment. If you're worried about using it in Infinity's HQ, I guarantee no one there's going to notice. See you later.
Oh, Masako told me about imaging. It's completely irrational, right? I think I'll be processing this one for a long time. Don't be ridiculous. Of course I wasn't. Nothing in science is absolute. I had a hypothesis that you'd be all right, which we proved correct via experimentation. The perfect scientific process. The seamless integration of my internal neuroamp into your brain structure is the happy consequence of that experiment. It wasn't so much the intention as the challenge it represented. Masako actually proposed the idea, citing numerous advantages for Ryujin. I couldn't resist. I'm sure you were hoping for a higher calling within that story, but it's really the complexity and challenge that motivated me to do it. It's so satisfying. Not only that, it's like this incredible tension has been lifted off my shoulders. I guess I never realized how much my drive to complete it affected me. Every now and then. I understand the dangers, which is why I also came up with the shielding mod. But there's a lot of tech out there we use every day that has plenty of dangerous implications. This is why I leave repercussions for people like Misako and Alexis to figure out. Bye.
You want to chat? Find Marcus.
Good, you're here. I wasn't sure how accurate Vina's promise of no downtime was going to be.
Let's just hope her promise of no brain damage holds true as well.
Now that you've been outfitted with the internal neuroamp, it's time to put that tech to work. We're sending you into Infinity Ltd. Lucas Drexler is about to learn exactly why you don't steal from Ryujin Industries. All right. Yuko has provided a layout of Infinity Ltd. You have two options for this assignment. We'll be providing you with the means for both. Option A, you gain entry through their maintenance access on the roof. Option B, we give you an assigned identity and arrange a meeting for you. Option A, you need to remain under the radar the entire time. Option B, you have a slight cover that may give you the opportunity to talk your way to your objectives. Of course not. The meeting is just a legitimate way in. Once inside, you'll be led to a waiting room where your host will be running late. That's your opportunity to make your way to either the executive floor or R&D. As long as you're prepared when the time comes. Now, depending on your preference, you'll either find yourself in the maintenance hallway or the marketing department. From there, you have 3 targets. First, you have Lucas Drexler's computer, located in his office on the executive floor. Second is Faye Sengsavan's computer, in research and development. And third, you need to obtain the prototype they are working on, also in R&D.
As you can see, you've several floors to traverse, so I hope you're prepared for an adventure.
You'll only have free range on the marketing floor. Infinity may be cheap, but they know at least some level of security is needed in this business. Nothing a good operative can't manage. Now, I had Ularu create a program that you need to run on both Lucas and Faye's computers. I'll let her explain the details.
You see, once we expose Infinity Ltd., all of their data is going to come under intense scrutiny. We only want the public to know about their mercenary hires and unauthorized human trials, but Project Dominion needs to remain confidential. I've created an overseer program that will gather all the evidence we need, and at the same time delete anything relating to Ryujin and the internal neuroamp. Anyone who comes forward to defend Lucas would be prosecuted as either aiding or being an accessory to these crimes. They all know career suicide when they see it. As for Lucas himself, if he wants to speak up and add corporate theft to his laundry list of crimes, fine. But who's going to believe him? No, we don't want to mess on this one. A body count will only distract from what we're trying to accomplish here. Simon Rychek provided some useful info on how to evacuate civilians from the building. I'm sure you remember him from Sidonia. Infinity's maintenance crew is understaffed. It's only a matter of time before pressure gauges go unchecked and they have a massive issue on their hands. Once that pressure becomes too much, every floor in the building is going to suffer from gas leaks, setting off an automated alarm to evacuate the building. Simon was able to get a passcode for you to access their system's computer, so you can force the heating system to fail. I'm told security has masks to handle the situation, so the guards will still be stationed in the building. It's also possible they'll activate their building's defense system as well. You may run into a few automated turrets, so you'll still want to try and stay out of sight. If the information Simon provided is accurate, you can reach the control systems through a computer located in the maintenance area. It's a pretty convenient stop if you enter in through the roof access. That old man's going to be around for some time to come, especially since I heard you helped him get rid of an old thorn in his side. We're also issuing you an operative suit. It should help reduce their ability to detect you. These suits are typically reserved for the senior ranks, but we want to reduce as much risk as possible. Please, you're an exception. But we can talk promotion after you pull off this assignment. That's what we're hoping for. If you can pull this off, even I'll be impressed.
Once you've run the Overseer program and obtained the prototype, your final step is to deliver the slate to David Barron at the SSNN field office. If he asks questions, feel free to give him just enough information to pique his interest, but no mention of Ryujin or who you are. SSNN is used to anonymous tips. They'll do whatever verifications they deem necessary on their own to confirm the story. Ularu assured me it's safe.
The Overseer program will purge itself once its primary function is complete. The only thing left on that slate will be proof of Infinity's crimes.
It doesn't matter what he believes. David's first move will be to verify the information you provide. Once he receives confirmation, which he will, he'll see it as his duty to report the news. Good. I guarantee the moment he scratches the surface on that story, he'll have a broadcast sent to every system. So, any final questions before you go? You'll be restricted to the marketing floor. An appointment is not a free pass. You have the ability to manipulate others. If someone's in your way, you could get them to move. If someone has a keycard, that means you have a keycard. The possibilities here are really up to you. Pay attention. we're giving you a slate with a program that has to be run on Lucas Drexler and Fei Sengsavan's computers. You also need to steal their current prototype of the internal neuroamp kept on their R&D floor. Once you're done, you're bringing the slate to David Barron at SSNN, and you're returning here to me with the prototype. Depending on whether or not you evacuate the building, you'll mostly be looking at security guards, much like we have here. You may encounter an automated defense system in the form of turrets as well, so be careful. Good luck, and be sure to report directly back to me when you return.
Here's Simon's passcode, your operative suit, the Overseer program, and your cover identity. Your cover ID card is encoded with roof entry and elevator access, so that's your ticket in, either way. Don't screw this up, Skylar Lumen. Get in there, and let's show Infinity what happens when they mess with Ryujin Industries. Don't forget to have fun in there, Up.
With the internal neuroamp at your disposal, there's no excuse for sloppy work here. This will be a day Lucas Drexler will never forget. Faye is the head of Infinity Ltd's research and development team. She's notorious for her lack of morality, so it's no surprise that Lucas has a woman like her in charge. You should ask Vina about her sometime. I've heard they have a bit of a competitive history. You need to run Ularu's Overseer program on Lucas Drexler and Fei Sangsavan's computers, and steal their current iteration of the internal neuroamp. Lucas's office will be on the top executive floor, while Fei's office and their version of the internal neuroamp prototype will be in R&D, the basement level. Once finished, you bring the slate to David Barron at SSNN and the prototype back to me. Should you get caught, we'll deny knowledge of your plans, as usual. It will be your responsibility to find a way to still complete your assignment and return to us when it's done. It's not obvious yet? Take control of the situation. With the internal neuroamp, you can manipulate others any way you choose. If there's a key card, make someone hand it over. Or perhaps make them open the door themselves. You get the idea.
My career will be over if this deal falls through.
Do you have the program? With pleasure. So, let's take a look. Aha! The decryption's hit a snag. There's definitely something here. This is exactly what we needed. According to this code, Ularu intended to plant false evidence that would show Masako was working with Lucas. The moment you launched the Overseer program, a series of fabricated communication files would have been uploaded to the Infinity Ltd network. One of them even frames Masako for encouraging Lucas to push for early human trials. I'm going to copy the necessary files off this slate and issue you a new one. I want to keep this one intact, so Ularu can't dispute it. All right. Now, we finally have the evidence we need to prove Ularu's guilt. There's no doubt. Should you have even noticed the upload, the program itself is designed to ignore any stop commands. It would have been too late. This evidence is indisputable. To deny it would be to admit involvement. And then we'd have a much larger problem on our hands. Just remain focused on your assignment. Without that falsified evidence, Ularu is in for a big surprise. I fully expect she'll be eagerly awaiting SSNN's broadcast, anticipating Masako to be accused alongside Lucas Drexler. Here's the new slate with the revised Overseer program. Let's get this assignment finished the right way. I realize you have the internal neuro amp, but should you still have that disruptor I gave you, I'm sure it could come in handy as well. Certainly. You'll be infiltrating the Infinity Ltd building with the intent to obtain their current prototype and run that slate on both Lucas Drexler and Faye Sangsavan's computers. Once your business there is finished, you'll deliver the slate to David Barron at SSNN, and then report back to Masako with the prototype. Do whatever you can to remain undetected on this assignment. You now have the internal neuroamp at your disposal, so I suggest you use it. We left the details vague, so you can fill in what you like. The only knowledge Infinity has is that you are the CEO of a small startup company called Lumen Interactive. The Overseer program wasn't the only thing on that slate. Ularu also included a series of false communications between Masako and Lucas. Once you ran the Overseer program, it would upload those files onto Lucas's computer, framing Masako as the mastermind behind his recent crimes. I was able to isolate that code and copy only the necessary portions of the Overseer program onto the new slate that you now have. I'm keeping the original slate as evidence of Ularu's betrayal.
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
Whew. Ryujin certainly.
Ooh, look at that. Your surgical wound's healing like a dream. Faye. Oh my god. I ran up against her while doing one of my doctorates in neurology. She's genius level smart, which means she's just below DeMarcus, but she absolutely hates being questioned, which is never a good thing. When my dissertation on cognitive reserve argued against the very theory she was presenting in hers, she never forgave me. I hate to say it, but I'm sure she did. Faye's pushed unauthorized human trials on products before. Your department's uncovered the evidence. But since no one ever died, and the only penalty was a few payoffs to cover injuries, I'm sure she didn't think twice about condoning them. Especially if it meant beating out a Ryujin product to market. Ryujin pursued me while I was still in college, and I know they were interested in Faye as well. I think she only ever saw me as competition and had no desire to collaborate with me. It's really unfortunate, but honestly, I couldn't ask for a better collaborative partner than DeMarcus. No one likes a narrow-minded anything. And when you're a scientist, being open to new theories and hypotheses is part of the job. I'm always happy to chat about my work.
Pressure normalized, and we're docked.
Was there? How may the trade of... Yes, of course.
Got anything? Need to offload? Trade authority is always buying. Kiosk right here for you.
Unfortunately, I'm not authorized to make appointments myself. Hello. Did you have an appointment with us today? I'm sorry, but we only allow visitors to specific floors based on appointment only. Did you have one scheduled today? Ah, yes, from Lumen Interactive. The elevator here will take you to the marketing floor. Once you arrive, you'll want to talk to Ellis Ortiz. He's the receptionist there and will be happy to help you. If all goes well, maybe I'll be seeing you around more often.
Welcome to Infinity Ltd's marketing department. Desi notified me that you are on your way. If you just have a seat, I can notify Miss Hart that you've arrived. Howdy. Make yourself comfortable. I'll go notify Miss Hart that you're here. Feel free to use any of the facilities on the floor while you wait. The break room and bathrooms are just around the corner.
I can't wait for this day to be over.
Something to report? Evening, sir.
The day the roof starts leaking, I quit.
Is this meeting ever going to start? Corporate has no idea how hard we're working down here. Corporate barely shells out to keep the lights on in here.
I'm sorry, I really don't have time to chat right now.
If the conditions here get any worse, I'm throwing in the towel on this job.
our shift.
Well, don't look at me. If you want someone to blame, I blame Lucas.
This better not be more revenge for losing that quantum deal. I hate to say it, but I have to cancel with Skylar. I am completely unprepared.
Just relax. I'll take care of it. I'm sorry the appointment didn't work out. You can take the elevator to the lobby when you're ready to leave. I'm sorry the appointment didn't work out.
Oh, were you my appointment? I'm so sorry. I somehow ended up triple booked today. I'm just trying to get ready for this department meeting right now, but you can see Ellis on your way out if you'd like to reschedule. I wish I knew. Ellis claims he had nothing to do with it, and I haven't gotten a response back from Lucas to see if he was involved. For all I know, it's our stupid scheduling software acting up again. It's been a nightmare from start to finish. I came in thinking I had a simple project review meeting. I had no idea our department meeting was moved up, and then I saw my appointment with you as well, neither of which I'm prepared for. I really do want to discuss partnering, though, so if you're still interested, I'll have Ellis contact you to reschedule. I really am sorry about all this. I assure you, this isn't how we normally operate.
You can take the elevator to the lobby when you're ready to leave.
Suspect found! They're here! Stand by.
I used to be an actuary. Now look at me.
We're close to the action here in New Atlantis. Prime position to report on the big stories that affect the United Colonies. Can I help you? Well, I'll be the judge of that. What's this so-called story about? All right. I'll take a look. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence. I figured as much. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source? Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I obviously have some work to do. If you'll excuse me, I obviously have work to do.
Your stories are a big hit. You lead well, an amazing life. You talk and get paid, I spread the news. It's a classic. I have a feeling we'll see each other again.
Need to move some merch. If it's too hot, then here I thought you were just wasting my time. Done here? Time to move on.
Seems like the Crucible. Don't wander into any restricted areas.
I've yet to hear anything of note on SSNN. Let's hear your report. Good. David won't be able to resist a story like this. He'll do some preliminary confirmations, which will be enough to get the broadcast out to the public. And how did the neuroamp perform? I thought it would be. So now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Infinity Ltd. And Lucas Drexler are currently under investigation for a number of violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself and the competitor have yet to be confirmed. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Perfect. This exposure puts Infinity right where we want them. The meeting will begin momentarily, but I want you to discuss the options we have with the other members. Infinity's net worth is about to hit rock bottom. So this gives us the opportunity to win a little more public faith. Infinity is about to crumble before the eyes of the public. They employ thousands of people, and those thousands of people are now worried about their jobs. That's where we come in. First, we'll issue a public statement expressing disgust at their leadership, but sympathy for the innocent workers. That's when we offer to acquire them. Quite right. The truth is, we'll be making evaluations. We'll shed any employees who don't make the cut, slowly but surely. By incorporating Infinity, we eliminate a competitor, get their best employees and contracts, and all while boosting our public perception. We've already done some initial evaluations, so I'm certain of it. Infinity has a lot of appeal being in New Atlantis. I'm sure plenty of brilliant minds are there because they prefer the location. Plus, there's always that handful of people that think they've got something to prove by not working for Ryujin. As if other corporations are really any better. I'm glad we're on the same page. Which is why I'd like you to talk to the board to convince them this is the right move. There are several who might disagree, and you have the perfect tool to help sway them. Yes, that's exactly what it's designed for. The bright side being, they'll never know. Good. You'll find most of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done. Don't rush it. Take your time. Remember to take any opportunity to push for acquiring Infinity.
Did Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work. Our public perception is good enough. If you ask me, reaching out to save Infinity just makes us look weak. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished. Oh? Your response tells me Masako must have given you similar advice. It'd be unlike her to not fully exploit an advantage, especially when she believes acquiring Infinity is the right thing to do. Well, it does make Ryujin look good, and we do gain a wider customer base, which means higher profits. You're oddly right about this one, Op. I guess you are worth keeping around. As long as everyone has Ryujin's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting. An issue? That would be a foolish move. Dalton and Alexis are the only two against it. You'd never get the rest to shut it down. As long as we have the proper safeguards and rules in place, the benefits exponentially outweigh the drawbacks. Even if we limit the usage to Ryujin Industries employees alone, the advantages are too numerous to count. Please, Ryujin's best interests are long-term success and growing profits. The internal neuroamp provides both. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make. This should be a very interesting meeting.
Don't cause any trouble.
This meeting should prove to be very interesting. I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome. That's because you're the one with the tool to do it. As long as Masako has the internal neuroamp on her side, she can't lose. If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened. I suppose you're right. As long as I'm fully aware of the risks, I can properly account for them. My first priority will be to get the board and all security members set up with shielding as soon as possible. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd., We're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause. I imagine we're looking at months of work. Infinity Ltd is obviously not known for their security. I only hope that Masako and the others will be patient with the process.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some preparations to make. We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises.
I appreciate the talk.
Hey there. And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope. What? No, of course not. They're purely theoretical. Reminds me of my undergrad days. I mean, I assume you're joking, right? I'll have to get that documented and we'll definitely want to run a few tests if not. So, tell me what you think of the neuroamp. I'd be the next Ray DeCaris, my childhood hero and mentor. How amazing would that be? DeMarcus, eat your heart out. Don't tell him I said that. He knows I love and respect him. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be? That's what I'm hoping for. They may be the underdog, but that doesn't mean they don't have a brilliant mind or two. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there. Ugh, I really wish they'd let me skip these meetings. I just want to get back to my lab.
I'm glad we're making an effort in our appearance today. Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available. Good. I prefer first-hand feedback when available. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity Ltd throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why? Saving the jobs of thousands is altruistic, which is not a luxury corporations have. It's a financial burden. It would be a huge undertaking on my part. This is true. Infinity never had the financial resources to match our salary offers. Getting what few capable employees they have at half the salary we typically pay here could have major payoffs in the long run. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation? And why do you feel it was well handled? Please note I'm not disagreeing. I just want to know the why behind your statement. Being prepared for anything is a great asset, one that Masako excels at. I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been. It's the next big step for Ryujin Industries. Financially, it'll keep us secure for years to come. There's no doubt it's our future. This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time. Excuse me. I have a lot of data to analyze.
Is Masako checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side? Because that's what I do. You want something in this business? You don't pull any punches. The only real question is just how persuasive she asked you to be. Well, you can let Masako know to rest easy. It just so happens that her agenda lines up with mine. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. while it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light. I'm sure I can squeeze enough goodwill out of this to last us at least a year. Well, you have my attention. Of course, which is why I know it requires some very delicate handling. But unlike Alexis, I believe we can get the proper restrictions and regulations in place to have a marketable product. We do it every day with weapons we arm ourselves and our ships with. Don't I know it? I think Alexis and I are truly going to have our work cut out for one another. We'll discuss security ramifications with Dalton, and I'm sure there are alterations, safety nets, if you will, that we'll need from Vina. It's sure to be quite the undertaking. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors. Good talk.
So much work to do. If you need something, make it quick. I'd like to make sure my arguments are solid before this meeting. You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd. Is the Pandora's box of corporations. I can guarantee that Infinity Ltd. Was up to more than just the current charges. The process of finding and following up on all those threads won't be easy. I refuse to be blindsided by another corporation's past, so this is going to take a lot of time and patience. All right, I could use the entertainment. Tell me why Infinity is a good asset. I suppose I might be overreacting a little. You're right. Perhaps I am focusing too much on the negatives. That's a decent argument. Huh. Well, what do you know? I think you just convinced me. Talent like yours belongs in the courtroom. Unfortunately, Half my department's been poring over documentation, while the other half is writing up what legal guidance they can. Nice to know someone is. Everyone's too busy praising its completion to think about the dangers it could represent. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life. Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage. In an ideal situation, yes. And I suppose creating that ideal situation is within my power. Now you've made it sound like a proper challenge that I can't help but accept. Masako is lucky to have you at her disposal, you know? You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? If there's nothing else, this meeting is concluded. I'll be following up with a few of you shortly.
If only there were more hours in the day.
So, Infinity Ltd learned a lesson the hard way, and we exposed the traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. Of course, but these particular assignments required a certain secrecy that most do not. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time. Not often, and certainly not to this degree. We have the occasional employee consider selling information, but thanks to our security and operations teams, we always catch them before any damage can be done. This was the first time anyone from either department was involved. I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you. Operative?
I'm glad we're making an effort in our appearance today. I'm sure digging through Infinity Ltd's financials is going to be quite the emotional journey.
How's it going? Need something? Taking a break? Only that some drama went down during the security update. You know, the one where they kicked us all out of the building for a free day off. Security's keeping pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing. I'm betting they found some dirt on someone's personal computer. Either that, or someone was dumb enough to try and break in. What's not news today? Imogene exonerated, Ularu off the board for trying to set up both Imogene and Masako. Last mistake she'll ever make. Masako will make sure of that. You didn't hear this from me, but you remember Tomo, your hot date from Terrabrew on day one? Apparently, he finally fulfilled his dream of being a field op. With a competitor. You ask me, nothing good will come of it. The guy's a bundle of nerves and a hothead to boot. They let Camden go today. Good at his job, always reliable but high maintenance, Camden. Yuko's holding out on me, but I bet you anything it was related to Bayu. I heard we lost one of our key informants. Ularu's pretty livid about it, and has the techs digging into who's responsible. Rumor is, he had a really pissed off ex that finally got her revenge. I heard congrats are in order for you getting that deal pushed through. Masako's been after a partnership with Quantum for some time now. So you can be sure you're on a short list of favorites. Do you even listen to SSNN? That news about Drexler is so damning. The man condoned murder for hire and illegal human trials, like he wanted to compete with Vae Victis for crimes against humanity. The settled systems isn't going to forget that anytime soon.
Supply chain disruptions in the Cheyenne system? Mr. Cho won't be happy about that.
I hate being stuck in the office. My next assignment can't start soon enough. I'm headed into the field again soon. Wish me luck.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day. Of course. If you think anyone here believes in downtime, forget it. And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions? No, but try to see that as an improvement, since I certainly do. The mission board is more efficient for both of us. Nothing you aren't already familiar with. You experienced the majority of what we do here during your training, if you recall. Uploading a few files, manipulating a narrative or two, obtaining schematics, it's just more of the same. I wish. Assignment approval isn't exactly riveting work. With your promotion, you've earned yourself an office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations, of course.
No, only within the tower. The security risk would be far too much to allow access to that data in a public space. You certainly will. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy. Just for you. Try not to linger too much. It's not a good look. It's a relief. I'll take my desk job over being on the run any day. I was lucky enough to have plenty of connections and favors to abuse in my situation. We'll see how many of those favors come back to haunt me later.
I better do this right. I don't want Yuko breathing down my neck about it.
Some folk never leave their hometown. You are straight out of one of those film noir novels. Working undercover and thwarting the bad guys. Just walking around the key makes my skin crawl. How'd you pull it off? Sistef put us in some shitty situations, that is for certain. I mean, don't get me wrong, helping Sistef was never on my bucket list. Commander Akande, he really wasn't as much of a tight ass as I was expecting. And ultimately, he had your back, so I guess here's to Sistef. Oh, shucks. No, this victory, really, it's all you. I just wanted to say, when we first teamed up, I had a good feeling about you. But this... you really helped people. Helped everyone. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Talk to me, my dear friend.
You got time for a quick chat? I'd appreciate it when you're able. Of all the places in the galaxy, only Neon can make me feel so damn... oily. And you dealt with its absolute worst. Ryujin, Infinity LTD, all of it. You doing all right? That was a lot. I mean, there's a reason Neon attracts so many people. It's the city of vice. As much as you might hate it, it's just full of temptation. How come no matter how advanced society gets, we still just can't help coming up with new horrors to inflict on ourselves? Mechs, xeno-warfare, and now this neuro-amp tech. I swear, it's the worst yet. And you just let them keep working on it. Well, that's a cheery thought. It's true, but... with a piece of work like Ryujin, I know there isn't a good person to put in charge. I mean, I guess Masako's better than Ularu Chen, but you just know if violence, or being just plain evil was the path of least resistance, then Masako would pick it same as Ularu. You're right. I know you're right. Well, the whole damned affair's over. Thank God. When the time's right, I'd appreciate a chat. The whole Terramorph situation, seriously, hats off to you. When I was growing up, everyone was afraid of Terramorphs. How they could seemingly strike anywhere at any time. The carnage, the destruction. The stuff you've done here could save so many lives. Hey, it's me. If you can't brag a little to your friends, who can you brag to? I don't know about these Asylees. That micro would wipe out the Terramorphs for good and certain. I mean, the Asylees? It'll take longer, take more hand-holding, and there's no saying the Asylees will fully get the job done. I hope for all our sake you made the right call. I suppose. The United Colonies. Hell, everyone and everywhere owes you big time. Even if they don't know it. When you get a moment, can we talk?
Read any good books lately?
So we know the answer. Who are the Starborn? Well, we are. We're some cracked mirror version of ourselves. The whole thing seems unreal. Yeah. Who's keeping track? You know, yeah, +1 for Team Sam. I was hoping the Starborn were somehow so advanced that their concerns were... cosmic? Significant? Instead, they're fighting over goddamn toys like we've been doing since caveman times. It's just a stupid game to them. And all our deaths and suffering, not relevant. God, I hope it is. So the Unity is a gateway. A gateway to countless possibilities. And you have a chance to go through it. Imagine. I'd be lying if it doesn't sound like the adventure of a lifetime. I don't know if you're taking anyone with you. But if you take me, I got no idea if I'd go through or not. If it went for Cora, I'd jump on it in a heartbeat. Cora would probably shove both of us out of the way and dive in first. Born explorer, that girl. Exactly, right? I know it's your decision who to work with, but you gotta remember that the Hunter murdered our friend. Sure, the emissary may be a version of Sarah, so Sarah is still alive. Sort of. But that doesn't make what the Hunter did right. Not by a long shot. If the Starborn are party crashers from different universes, I'd side with the one that's not willing to murder innocents to win. Excellent. Glad to hear it. My head is still spinning. Maybe after a few nights' sleep, it'll be clearer. Take care.
You keep installing new cool things in your ship. It's like Christmas every day.
Never quite had a friend like you. Well, mildly interesting at least. Here. Sorry to see you go.
Ah, a face I never mind seeing. What can I do for you?
I suppose now you can add climbing the corporate ladder to your list of accomplishments. I must ask, though, are you not at all concerned with where future neuroamp research might lead? Perhaps, but I believe I asked you for your thoughts first. That seems like quite a pessimistic outlook. Yes, but does that make it morally acceptable to be the one driving its development? Nothing is so immutable. That seems a poor excuse. And what happens when Ryujin falls prey to the same tactics it has employed and loses control of this technology? With all that you have seen, and indeed done, in reaching this point, why would you believe it is not? Did you just... I know you cannot possibly be attempting to compare my belief in the Great Serpent to this situation. I will consider this simply a very poor choice of words on your part. I cannot bring myself to trust Ryujin the way you seem to. I only hope, for all our sakes, that trust is not misplaced.
And just what is on your mind at this moment?
I thought you might want this.
I look forward to our next discussion.
Want to hear one of my stories? Or do you have one to tell me? Neon. You think it would be peaceful with all those calm waters and beautiful sunsets. But I can't think of any town that's more stressful. Ryujin, Infinity Ltd. And there you were, navigating corporate bureaucracy like a professional. Humanity went to the stars and explored new worlds. And some still ended up sitting at desks all day long. Not sure if I should laugh or cry. Look, I know Neon is going to be Neon, no matter what any of us do about it. But you just let them keep working on that neural amp tech? Really? Oh, don't you dare. Science is a method, a tool for understanding why things are the way they are. What they are doing is driven by corruption, greed, and cruelty, not knowledge. Science doesn't exist to control people. That's like saying cooking exists to poison people. That's asinine. But if the bottom line is money, then this isn't going to benefit them. It'll be used to dominate them. Sure, there are benefits. The medical potential alone is mind-boggling. But if they are the hands holding this technology, do you really think anybody will ever benefit? Just the ones who can pay. And it won't be cheap. I understand wanting to hope for the best, but you can't believe everything in a sales pitch. Anyway, not that I care a ton about the internal politics of some ethically dubious megacorp, but... So, Masako, huh? I mean, between her and Ularu Chen, I get it, but you don't trust her, do you? Sometimes the least worst option is all we can get. Anyway, you didn't happen to pick up any investment tips while you were in there? Just kidding. I don't even want to know. Ah, weird. I was just thinking. Yeah, I do. How did you know?
Hey, Dad. Want to hear a joke?
Sure, Sweet Pea. Yo, man, could always use
I'm ready to head out again when you are. Okay. Who can jump higher than a skyscraper?
Ask away, Captain.
I don't...
So long, Captain.
Everybody! Skyscrapers can't jump!